though. Both of them are very, 6'2", 6'3", corners.
Look, they didn't draft a corner, so you and I both assume that they like one of these two guys.
Well, and they're going to use Shamari Connor in various roles. But here's what NFL.com said about him. Due to Williams' potential as a sticky cover corner in a man-heavy scheme, since his arrival of a fourth-round pick out of Fayetteville State, Williams' growth has raised eyebrows around the league, with scouts and executives appreciating the small school standout's game. As an instinctive playmaker with exceptional length, Williams has earned rave reviews for his work as a part-time player in Kansas City in the defensive backfield. He is not afraid of the bright lights and big stage, as evidenced by the 2 Super Bowls. So Williams could emerge as a worthy complement to Trent McDuffie. And let's not forget, LeJerry Sneed didn't. You were at training camp every day.
Yeah,
he didn't practice.
No. They gave Joshua Williams and Jalen Watson's plenty of time with those snaps, and they got all of those. But how long did it take LeJerry Sneed to get on the field full time? Williams, they've both been around 2 years. And again, I just always felt like they used, I don't know their exact snap counts, but it always just felt like they were using Watson more in the big moments.
And the key, too, is can you get to the quarterback? That's the big one with corners.
Sure, but the Chiefs have finished second in sacks each of the last 2 years.
Yep, and last year was only 3 off the team record, 1990. They had 57 this year, and 60 was the most that they had ever had in a season. That's back with DT and those guys. But LeJerry Sneed, and they're going to use Connor for that, too, because Connor will be at safety, he'll be at the nickel, and he'll be the guy getting to it, because he's good at getting to the quarterback. He led Virginia Tech in sacks as a defensive back in 2019. He can get there. But Josh Williams, a guy that Sneed started 6 games his rookie year.
I think there's a lot of parallels along. The Sneed 4th-round pick.
Yeah.
Williams 4th-round pick.
Sure.
A guy that doesn't miss
Sat
tackles.
for a little bit until Charvarius Ward was gone, and then Sneed got his moment.
A guy that doesn't miss tackles.
He just cost himself a lot of money to draft these guys in the 4th and 5th and 6th round and turn around and be this good.
To get him turned around. Now, look, both those guys got paid. Sneed got paid, Ward got paid. So if you're Joshua Williams, ball out for the next 2 years.
And Mike Dana was a 5th-round pick as an end, and he didn't even go to the combine.
No, you'll get paid too. From the 816, there's 2 questions related to our power. Said, hey, what happened to the live stream? We lost power. It's back up now. The stream is up and functional again, Jay Binkley. Second question, do you guys just go home if you lose power? We'd have to, not only would we have to lose power in the building, but the generator would have to, catch on fire for us to go home.
Generator saves.
Turns out radio stations, because I got a lot of money tied up in advertisement, got to stay on the air. And so we get to stay on the air because of a gigantic diesel-powered generator. You seen that thing? It's like the size of a trailer outside.
You could use an F-150 because they got the little plug in the back.
The
new ones.
Just plug the building
Anybody
in.
got an F-150?
I don't think, I got to be honest. I don't know how, I'm assuming that generator is on its own different power supply there, Bink. I think, All
right, let's go with this. Jalen Watson had 2 quarterback hits last year. Joshua Williams, quarterback hits, none.
I think you're digging in the weeds with that, though.
Quarterback hits.
I'm digging in the weeds.
I know. I'm
trying to find.
You're in pretty deep.
I know. Yeah. I'm not saying it's a bad thing, but it's just I think if you're using quarterback hits from a corner to justify who's going to be the better breakout player, I think that's a little bit deep.
Jalen
I think
Watson
that's too deep, especially when it's 2-0. If it were 31-0, let's have a conversation. But they'll use anyone to blitz. The last thing I worry about is
2 sacks last
Sneed
year,
was Sneed was a good blitzer. Yeah, so was McDuffie, and Williams would be too.
Jalen Watson had 2 sacks.
I'm convinced the corner blitz thing is a scheme thing. That none of these corners are just they're better than blitzing than other corners in the league. I'm just convinced Spags is better at drawing up corner blitzes better disguising it than anyone in the league.
Safety blitzes.
That's what I think.
Badger was really good at that.
I mean, some of the guys, but again, we've said he was really good at it. We said Ward was really good at it. Sneed was really good at it. McDuffie's really good. I don't think they're just drafting everybody who's 5 of the top 20 guys. I think it's scheme. I think they're really good at it because Spags is better at scheming those guys to get that play than anyone else.
There are players that tend to you mentioned Honey Badger, Justin Reed, the guy that they just drafted, the safety Owens. They're good at
or Jaden Hicks.
Or Hicks, I'm sorry, Hicks. Yeah, they're
who can kick, by the way.
They're run stoppers. Those guys have those traits, but a lot of it is kind of what Spags does as well. I mean, this is the second most important question.
It is because corner two's
the
big.
Chiefs. Yeah, is behind the left tackle.
It's very big.
The thing is, Chiefs have gotten away with manufacturing sacks. The record for the Chiefs is 60 in 1990. Second most they've ever had is 57 last year. The third most they've ever had is 55 the year before.
Yeah.
So they're 55, 57 can get to 6. Now there is that 17th game. That is the difference in that.
Sure, that doesn't hurt, but like where they finished in the league is what matters to me, and they finished in the top, second each of the last 2 years. We come back. I got a question about the Royals and whether or not this will work, as they just finished their series win against the Guardians, and the Chiefs were ranked very high in one category in NFL.com, and Bink and I aren't buying it.
Cody and Gold, brought to you by Heartland Men's Health, the leader in men's sexual health. Thousands of men have been successfully treated for low T, ED, and more, all with discretion and compassion. Make your appointment at heartlandmenshealth.com.
There is a back-to-back Super Bowl champion, and it is the Kansas City Chiefs.
On your official broadcast partner of the Chiefs, 610 Sports Radio.
Hey guys, today I want to talk to you about Dan Dan the Wedding Man. Why rent a suit or tux when you could buy one from Dan Dan? Only $250 gets you a custom tailored suit or tux. And as always, Dan Dan has free alterations for life. It's the day your partner will remember for a lifetime, and it's a suit you can use for a lifetime. Best day, best look with Dan Dan the Wedding Man at 97th and Quivira. Online at dandantheweddingman.com or call 541-1192.
While you are celebrating the 4th of July with friends and family, or grilling for one, go to your local grocer and pick up bottles of Gates sauces and seasonings and experience that flavor explosion found only in Gates products. Or maybe you would rather pick up a couple slabs of ribs or a party tray for the park. Gates' 5 locations are open and ready to serve whichever you choose. Or you can purchase online at gatesbbq.com. Make Gates a part of your 4th of July. Gates Barbecue is a Kansas City tradition. If you're struggling with weight and frustrated with dieting each and every year, Mark Patrick Seminars can help.
After this hypnosis, I would want to eat good food.
Since August, I can honestly say I have not had one potato chip.
It was life-changing for me.
And I don't think about desserts like I used to.
Bridget, how much have you lost now?
I have lost a total of 83 pounds.
Holy cow.
It's easy, it's fun, very relaxing, and very successful.
And I would just say go for it.
What are you waiting for? Join Mark Patrick Seminars and lose the weight or stop smoking guaranteed. Early bird special only $49.99. Hypnosis designed to destroy unwanted cravings, late day eating binges, boredom eating, and stress eating. Seminars Sunday, July 21st at the Holiday Inn and Suites Overland Park West and Overland Park. Weight loss seminar 11 a.m. Stop smoking seminar 2 p.m. And Tuesday, July 23rd at the Wingate by Wyndham, Kansas City in Kansas City. Weight loss seminar 5:30 p.m. Stop smoking seminar 8 p.m. Registration 30 minutes before. Sign up at markpatrickseminars.com. That's markpatrickseminars.com.
Having unexpected car trouble or just in a car accident? You need Jay's Southland Tow Service. They have over 20 years of experience servicing the KC Metro. They specialize in light, medium, and heavy duty, as well as commercial transport and construction equipment. Keep this number handy, 816-779-4869 or southlandtow.com. Use the tow service trusted by most local police departments, Jay's Southland Tow Service. There's nothing they can't do, so be in the know and use Jay's Southland Tow. Hey, it's Bob Fesco, and if you have arthritis or joint pain and it's keeping you from doing those things that you love, if you have bone-on-bone pain in your knees, hips, back, or shoulders, I'm here to help. There are exciting new cellular therapies that can get you lasting relief with QC Kinetics, and I'm talking about cutting-edge treatments that accelerate your own body's healing properties, revitalizing your joints so you can move again. Learn how QC Kinetics can treat that pain, enhance your joints, restore your mobility, and give you long-term relief with absolutely no downtime. You have to know that steroid surgery and pain pills are no longer your only options. The medical professionals at QC Kinetics are ready to help you get your life back with regenerative, restorative cellular treatments for achy joints. This is the future of medicine. Call QC today, 816-412-6299. That's 816-412-6299. QC Kinetics off 435 in State Line and in Gladstone, 816-412-6299.
What makes for a great vacation? Depends on who you ask. Are you looking to get away or bring everyone together? Do you want to get outside and play or see a play at the plate? Fortunately, however you operate, I'm the destination you've been looking for. The name's Missouri, but you can call me Mo. And I have just one question. What's your MO? Come see me at visitmo.com.
Summer's just getting started, so fill your cooler with the smooth and refreshing taste of Twisted Tea Hard Iced Tea.
It tastes like real iced tea because it's made with real brewed tea. And with a 5% kick of alcohol, Twisted Tea is perfect for the beach, the lake, or wherever you're hanging out and day drinking with your friends. Look for the bright yellow cans. Twisted Tea Hard Iced Tea. Keep it twisted.
Twisted Tea Brewing Company, Cincinnati, Ohio. Please drink responsibly.
Life insurance. Why are you putting it off? Can't afford it? Too much hassle? Think you don't need it? There's lots of excuses for putting off life insurance. But if you weren't there, who would pay the mortgage and other bills? With Ethos, you could be covered in 10 minutes and boom, family protected. Ethos, fast and easy online term life insurance. Up to $2 million in coverage with no medical exam. Some policies as low as $1 a day. Answer a few health questions and get your free quote at getethos.com. That's getethos.com.
Looking for a way to elevate your engine's performance? Start with Napa Full Synthetic Engine Oil. It provides faster oil flow for hot and cold temperature protection in the harshest driving conditions. Regular use can help your engine run cleaner and longer by defending against sludge and buildup, improving overall engine performance and fuel efficiency while increasing the time between oil changes. Make the switch without slowing down. Feed your ride Napa Full Synthetic Engine Oil. Available now at Napa locations nationwide.
July 4th doorbusters are happening now at Lowe's. For a limited time only, save $70 on a Charbroil 4-burner Performance Series gas grill. Was $249, now $179. And get 50% off Harbor Breeze 48-foot LED outdoor string lights to brighten up your patio for summer. Shop these deals before they're gone, because Lowe's knows savings. Lowe's knows home improvement. Offers valid through 7/1. Selection varies by location while supplies last.
You're listening to 610 Sports Radio from the Mission Plumbing, Heating, and Cooling Studios. The all-new 249 Miles of Football podcast, hosted by Drew Nixon, with new episodes released every Wednesday, is available now on the Odyssey app or wherever you get your podcasts. 610 Sports Radio, KCSP Kansas City, WDAF HD2 Liberty, and Odyssey Sports Station.
We'll get to the trash of the day coming up in about 20 minutes. I'm going to handle trash of the day duties today, Vince, since
Trash
Gold's
day.
out. Does that mean, will you do random question for me today?
I will do it.
Okay. We got to, like Alex and I handle one each as like a good split so that, both people are responsible for, looking for interesting things to talk about on the show.
For interesting. When's 249 come out, miles a foot, tomorrow?
Every Wednesday, 9:30
Oh, it's
a.m.
a Wednesday, okay. I made an appearance last week on it.
Wait,
On
you
Drew's
were on.
podcast,
I missed last week's
I got to get him on
episode.
character concerns, so we'll get him.
What did you guys talk about?
A little bit of everything.
Yeah, local schools.
All three locals, some of the players that he's looking forward to watching, him and Chris as they do the Character Concerns podcast, guys that the obvious is Luther Burden, I think, from a college to NFL standpoint. Jalen Daniels could be interesting. Not as much of an NFL prospect, it seems like, though, at least top-tier quarterback. He's one of those guys that's a hell of a college football player. We don't know how good he's going to do in the NFL.
From a draft perspective, but that doesn't matter. I mean, he's in college right now, so what you care about if you're talking about college football is how he'll hang on there. Bink, we're just as in your, I guess, let's see what state, July 1st opinions on how would you rank how good you think each team will be this year? Kansas, MU, K-State. Who do you think is the best? Who do you think is the worst right now?
I think MU's the best. Kansas State's second. I think KU's just right there behind them. I love that backfield and the quarterback running and everything from Kansas State this year.
Okay.
KU's going to be salty, man. I love Lance Leipold and what he can do. But
schedule's favorable for KU.
Missouri's bringing the whole passing offense back. Plus, you had two transfer running backs that are coming in, one with 1,500 yards from Georgia State, one from App State that almost had 900 yards to the running game. Will supplant with the production they had from Cody Schrader.
We'll get back to...
Even though he led the nation in yards per game.
Yeah, he did. We'll get back to the Royals here in just a moment. But one more thing on the Chiefs. We were talking about Joshua Williams and Jalen Watson and which you would prefer at the moment. But NFL.com had their list of ranking out units in the NFL and currently has the Chiefs ranked as the second best offense in the NFL. And I'll be honest, between Bink and I, we don't see it. And that's not meant to be a knock between that the Chiefs have no offense, but that would be a pretty sizable jump from where they were last year. They were middle of the pack. They were an average offense in points per game. Now, not passing statistics. They were far better than that, not red zone. So I'm not saying there aren't areas in which they can improve. But I feel like if that's going to work, it's going to rely on this wide receiver unit taking a massive leap forward. And we can break down Hollywood Brown's expectations individually here during the Chiefs' right half hour, Pink. But I don't know, man. I'm not trying to be a downer, and I don't think they have to be the league's best offense. Second best offense? Like, talk about one of those, like, I'd like to see it before I believe it situations. Is that bad?
No, it's fair. It's fair. And both you and I are from the show me state, so show me.
Yeah.
I mean, you look at this on paper and you say, because I do this with every other team anyway. I just like the all-around ability of the Chiefs. I love the way the defense now is respected. Because defense wasn't respected until about midseason. But the offense, all right, what's changed? You look at what's changed. Not a lot. I mean, Kelsey's a year older. You're going to be losing Rice for, maybe 4 games.
We don't know how long.
Xavier Worthy's not gotten on the field yet.
Hollywood's a significant improvement over Sky Moore and Kadarius Toney.
Is that enough to change you from the 15th scoring offense down to 2? Although they
could be worse on the offensive line, depending on the performance you get out of Kingsley.
I
could be better.
I think it's the production standpoint. You're thinking, all right, you put Hollywood and Xavier, it's going to open up things for Travis Kelsey. Chiefs have already shown that propensity to throw more down the field last year.
Problem is Xavier hasn't even practiced yet. Man hasn't even touched a football field in the offseason.
Well, at the very beginning of rookie camp, remember he had the catch and then he had the drop that everybody's talking about. But anyway, is it that much difference with Hollywood Brown to take your offense to that level? I want to see it. I think they're going to spread the ball downfield more and throw it and get back to Patrick Mahomes early on in his career. But to go ahead and usually we see these lists and we're like, oh my God, we're way underranked. Way underranked. I think they overranked us in this one.
Yeah.
To this point, I'm going to see it first.
Look, that's all it is.
Because they're still in the same boat next year for the draft, by the way.
Look,
because Hollywood Brown's 1 year. They're back into getting the receiver in the first round next year.
The argument pro is Andy Reid and Patrick Mahomes. There is no, in my opinion, if you try to break it down from an other perspective comparatively to other offenses, there is no other real selling point to tell me they're the second best offense. Not a good offense, not a top 7 offense. There's plenty of arguments for that. But the second best offense in the league, you're gonna need to give me more than just Andy Reid and Patrick Mahomes or Wizards. Well, they were the coach and the quarterback last year. And again, there are a lot of stats, and I think Drew had pointed this out before the show when we were talking about it. They were stinky in the red zone. So if between Wiley and Worthy and Hollywood Brown, or just the variance that comes with red zone offense ability improves significantly, they will score quite a bit from that. For an example, though, to be second best in offense just from last year's scoring, they would need to be 6.5 points better on offense than they were last year. That's not a small jump. That's a pretty significant swing in points.
That's relying on Hollywood Brown making that big a difference. Listen, I like Hollywood Brown. I think he's going to be great, but that's going up a whole level from him. And drive average is the important one, points per drive that they had. The Chiefs had been hovering around first and second in points per drive. They were 10th in the points per drive as far as, whenever they have the football, how many points they're going to put up, field goal or touchdown, whatever it is. But they went all the way to 10th. And this team's been hovering around 1 or 2 in points per drive. Even a couple of years ago when they thought they figured out the offense, they were still number 2 in points per drive.
Yeah, but it's taking him way. So the difference was, and here's again another point that maybe works in the favor. They are better in points per drive than most teams in the league. They score more consistently from deeper drives and all those things.
They've been hovering, like I said, about 1 or 2 with Mahomes.
But they take right now, over the last couple of years, they're taking forever to get down the field to score. That's part of it, Pink. They get just as many points per drive as any team in the league, but it takes them 13 plays for 81 yards and
they did lead the NFL
10 and a half. Yeah, it takes them like 10 and a half minutes to get down there. It's all 4 yards at a time. There's just not enough time to score. So if you think Xavier Worthy or Hollywood Brown open up the possibility to score occasionally in 2.5 minutes instead of 10.5 minutes, that actually might be one of the bigger selling points for, if you're saying, hey, build me a scenario in which they are the second best offense. One of them is the quick strike is back, because that is what they've missed over the last 2 years. They score on a 60-yard touchdown pass 1.5 minutes into a drive, points on the board, they'll get the ball back eventually and will score again with the best of them in the league. That's probably one of the stronger arguments. We know they're never going to be a bad offense. The points per game last year are even deceiving on this year's team. I don't think that they were the 15th best offense last year. I think they were significantly better than that.
They were 1 in points per drive. They went from 1 to 10. And you're saying Hollywood Brown brings you from 10 back to around 1 or 2.
I think that, I don't even know if it's Hollywood Brown as much as, according to the books, Xavier Worthy. I mean, their over-unders are the exact same for the upcoming season. I think the Cody, you brought up the push the ball down the field thing that Patrick Mahomes and Andy Reid talked about. I think that's the selling point for a lot of people as well. They upgraded the room, so they're going to be better alone. And then you add in the fact, they've got a guy with 4.2 speed. Hollywood Brown also very, very fast.
Yeah, but MVS was fast, so it's like effective versus. And look, Hollywood Brown's had a better beginning of his career than MVS did.
Sure.
I'm not saying that, but
I just think that's where the case can be made. Somebody's calling you blind though on the text line. From the 913, Cody and Bank are blind if they don't.
Blind.
Is it Barber?
Oh, you know what?
Because he texted it too.
It's Barber?
Yeah, it's Barber.
Barber thinks we're blind?
I think they can get there. We're saying we think they can get there, but right now you got to prove it. Because right now you got to prove it because you're going to be losing Rice some games. You're saying that the hamstring's going to be absolutely fine for Xavier Worthy. Hollywood Brown's missed 8 games in the last 2 years, and you might have a rookie left tackle.
I just think that there's more variance than Barber's suggesting. That's all.
I think it's projection. I think it's the read. I think it's Mahomes combo. But it's like high school football. You always look whenever they make these rankings, right, who's got the quarterback coming back and who's, what I mean? That's what they go, we'll put them at number 1 or 2. Mahomes does make a difference, but I think they're counting on the fact that he's spreading the field, which will make the Chiefs' running game better because the safety won't be creeping up.
That's the thing, Bink, though, is that if they use it, because last year we were begging Andy to utilize run because they were running the ball pretty well, and they just wouldn't use it enough. Now,
that's pretty much Andy's entire history.
I was going to say we're going to have to see if they use it because, to your point, Bink, if they run the ball more, their offense can be a whole lot more open this year in terms of what they can do because of the talent that they have. It's just, will they utilize it to have the balance in the offense that we think they can have?
The bottom line is being a running back for this team should be a dream. And this year, it should be a dream.
It should be better than it has
Because last
been.
year, because the Chiefs, all the short passes, you get the safeties creeping up more into the box. This year, if you're showing the ability to throw it down the field as much as we think that they can, that will change the offense. That'll make them one of the top offenses. I was saying they don't have to be because this defense has been so good at this point. They're a well-rounded football team.
I wouldn't rule out the possibility they could finish as a top 3 offense. I just wouldn't predict it yet, if that makes sense. Coming up in about 10 minutes, we'll get to the trash of the day. I was going to talk about Chris Bubich in the bullpen, but we can do that in just a minute. Have you seen what's happened with some Guardians fans? Bink, they're losing it. They're losing
Conspiracy theory.
We have now begun the phase that the Royals are too good at home. They must be cheating. This is a real conversation that took place on social media last night. Quote, the Royals are either 1, hacking pitch comms, 2, using a parabolic microphone focused on catcher or pitcher's head. Would love to hear some other theories because they have the lowest K percentage in baseball at home and 8th worst away from the K. Can't just be a coincidence, to which a different Guardians fan responds, I've been on this for a while. I don't know what they're doing, but it's something. Just massive gaps in how they perform at home versus the road.
Well, the Phillies are the
swing
only
decisions
team that has
are
a better
chief
record.
amongst them. So we are officially at the point that somebody thinks that the Royals are cheating. That's why they're so good at home. They're hacking PitchCom in order to get an edge on teams once they're playing at home. Look, I know that
They have the second
Guardians-
best record at home. Only the Phillies have a better one. But this team has been built.
Not cheating to do it.
The Royals are smart. And, Dayton did a lot of this too, and Piccolo obviously been from the same set. They build a team to fit the ballpark.
Yeah.
You build a team.
Yeah, because you play 81 games in that ballpark.
Absolutely.
You play half
build
your
the
damn
team.
season.
They're good at home. Big deal. A lot of teams are.
I can't get over it. It's just like the funniest possible result is that
To anybody says the Royals are cheap, come on, man.
Like, I understand teams cheated not that long ago, so it's not that crazy. It's also just like you don't have to go that far. Someone in Twitter had responded to me. Would you like to know their home road splits last year, the Guardians? Last year, the Guardians, away, 236 batting average, 300 on base percentage, 391 slug. Not a particularly good year. At home, 288, 50 points higher, Bink. 359 on base, 60 points higher. And a 469 slug, 150 points better in the OPS. Turns out some teams are just better at home.
Do you know the Royals have 7 more losses at home than the Indians do? Than Cleveland? 26-9 they are at home.
Yeah,
Royals sitting there at 30-16. They played more home games, but they're 26-9 at home.
Where's their good
Maybe
home?
Cleveland's cheating.
It's fine.
What's Houston at home?
Someone said we must
They're
not.
24-19.
Someone says we must have forgotten to cheat when the Yankees came to town. It's like, oops. No, the Yankees were just also cheating. See, they're all up against it. Couldn't just be that the Guardians, who have outperformed what they should be so many times, that if there was a team that had been cheating this entire time, it'd be them. They make no sense. They spend no money. You're just like, how the hell are you winning all the time? Explain this to me, Guardians fans. I just couldn't. It's honest to God, I've never been more sure the Royals are back. I told you I'd wanted a fight. I told you that was the way, Bink, that I'd know 100%. We're in it. We're back to the good old days. Because
he likes the fight guy too?
I want a brawl.
So do I.
I wanted a brawl. But being accused of hacking PitchCom by another fan base,
it's almost as good.
Yeah, that one hits just as strong. I'm not gonna lie. That one feels just as good on the inside, Drew. I'm like, yes, please. I'm begging you to accuse this team of cheating more, because then it's like they're in your head like, they couldn't possibly be better than us. We're the Guardians. You're like, okay.
Seeing Q get thrown out as well and get fired up is also very fun to see.
Yeah, he's getting tossed a lot more, Bink.
Who'd be the toughest fighter on this team?
Kyle Isbell.
You think Isbell?
I feel pretty strong about that.
I remember when Dyson was here.
If you made me choose, I think the best fighter on the team would be Kyle. He looks like an MMA fighter. He looks like he looks kind of like he's built, kind of looked low to the ground. You know, he moves fast. He plays center field. Like, I think if there were like a Royal Rumble of Royals players, I think Kyle Isbell would be champ.
Well, I think Perez could hold his own too, and he's shown that. Renfroe could
for
probably
sure, but I mean, like one shot to a Perez. Perez is just like he's like the elite level wrestler who's now out of his prime.
I bet Vinny would be tough too. Vinny would be tough too. I think Vinny could throw.
I'll be honest. You know, my most difficult part is I've gotten to know Vinny well enough now over the years that I don't know if Vinny's just like mean.
Well,
Vinny seems so nice.
Did you think that Mike
Sweeney
enough? Did you think Mike Sweeney was mean? Nobody did. Mike Sweeney was one of the nicest guys in the world, but it has the best Royals fight ever.
That's why
he goes to the mound, takes down Weaver. Best fight ever is Mike Sweeney.
If it were to come down to it, Vinny would be the guy that would deliver like the haymaker. It would come out of nowhere.
Or Perez. I can see Salvi. I've seen, remember Tim Anderson he got mad at?
Mm-hmm.
Salvi doesn't get mad very often, but when he does,
I think Michael would try. Michael's the guy that I'm still convinced would like
the instigator.
He'd do anything to fight.
I don't want to see Massey
to win it.
I don't want to see Massey with the bat. I don't want to see Massey in the fight. Once asked Dyson, he says, "Oh, pound for pound, I am." He said it at spring training. Vernon and I were bored one day before a game, and asked Wade Davis, who's the toughest baseball player he's ever played with. He said Kyle Farnsworth, and I 100% agree with that, man. He was voted the most toughest guy in the MLB. The little survey they do with the players. Farnsworth he was a fighter, man.
Someone said, what about John Schreiber? Does he deserve a mention here? 6'2", 215 pounds is what he's listed at. Got that big beard.
Or Jonathan Bolin.
Bolin's not in the bigs right now.
I know he is, but if they brought him back up here, he's huge. Biggest player they have.
I'm trying to think. I mean, Bobby's athleticism stands out.
Well, Bobby would smack people around.
But again, Bobby's also I just don't think Bobby would do anything to win the fight. Does that make sense?
I think so.
I don't think he would just do anything it takes to win this fight.
What about Lugo?
Yeah.
Because Lugo's got a little bit of fire in him, man. He's got that
so
red
cerebral. If he beat you, he'd do it and you didn't even know what happened. Honest to God, the Lugo fight would be different because you'd have this plan, you'd be going at him and be like, I felt like I've gotten to this guy a couple of times, and you haven't even landed a good punch yet. He just kept side dodging and those things, moving back and forth.
I bet Singer'd go crazy in your butt. As mad as he gets about rain and stuff.
Singer's got some attitude. He's got that fire.
He does. He gets mad at rain. I guarantee you Singer'd be tough in a fight.
Okay. I'm bringing down the whole roster at this point. I mean, I'm pretty close to. I don't think we're even missing anybody anymore. I was like,
bottom line is we want to see a fight.
Okay. Yeah, I do. Look, I'm pro fight. I'm just going to say it.
You like fights, Drew?
I think if the Royals are in a brawl,
I like watching them, sure.
A couple years ago, the Wall Street Journal looked at every bench clearing brawl in baseball. There's 29 bench clearing, only 3 punches were thrown.
That's it?
Yeah.
Just 3 punches?
Rougned Odor was probably the best last fight, even though he didn't drop Batista.
No, but that was good. He landed a solid punch.
If only would have dropped him.
Very rarely in a baseball fight does somebody actually throw a punch and it lands.
I remember Arenado a few years ago. He was chasing. The player ran to the outfield because Arenado never had a hold of him.
Look, baseball fights they're not as good as some others, but they hold their own. Now, at least someone says I still feel like Reagan's would have a crazy cold left hook. Coming from the left side, if you're just an inexperienced fighter, that probably would. The southpah thing would probably throw you off a little bit. But maybe he's going to protect his. We don't know.
It's what I always liked about Yordano Ventura. He would protect his players, even though Machado, we knew he was coming.
That's what I was talking about. Anything to do to win the fight. Either. Yeah. anything to do to win the fight, that's Ventura.
Yeah. He didn't care. Machado was a lot bigger than him. He's like, you know what? Let's go.
My answer is still Kyle Isbell.
It's probably the right answer, to be honest with you.
Coming up in 10 minutes, we'll get back to the Chiefs' red half hour, as I've got a question about the Mahomes-Brady debate that continues on. But let's get to the trash of the day.
Trash of the day.
All right, Bink, I'm going to handle trash of the day since Gold's out of town until next week with the holiday weekend here. This one comes to us from the land of New Jersey. Now, in fairness, this person was flying to Florida, so it's a little bit of both. But a gentleman from New Jersey got in a gaming dispute over an online game in which the two got kind of heated in between the new one. The Nassau County Sheriff Bill Leeper said, hey, this is a bit of a weird one. Some things you can't just make up. Kang, who's the person who got on a flight from New Jersey, had never met a man in real life, and they'd both been playing a game called Arca Age, a medieval fantasy multiplayer online role-playing game that is soon to be discontinued due to the declining number of active players. He got so mad at him in the game, he got on a flight from New Jersey, flew down to Florida, and attacked him with a hammer over it. This man had an entire flight.
He went medieval on his ass.
Yeah, he had an entire flight, Bink, to think about whether or not he should attack this man with a hammer. He got his ass all the way down to Florida with his gaming buddy and still went after him.
I have to admit something. The biggest fight I've ever been in involved Tecmo Bowl.
Tecmo Bowl?
As a kid, yeah. It was
like, how old were you? How old are we talking here?
In high school. A little bit, it was the biggest brawl I'd ever been in. I was so pissed because he figured
it was a brawl? More than one person?
Well, two, but one basically. But
okay.
The bottom line is that, remember Tecmo Bowl, there's 4 plays you could choose.
Yeah.
And if you pick the play, you got a sack. But the 49ers with Dwight Clark, even though you picked that play, they'd still complete it. It was a glitch in the system, whatever.
Yeah,
I used to beat his ass all the time, and he figured that out. And he was just doing that the whole damn time. And
so he's just running the same Dwight Clark
every
play
time.
Every time.
I took his ass down, broke the chair. That's the way my mom made him go home at this point. That's the worst fight I ever was Tecmo Bowl. I get it, man.
You kind of get where this guy. Would you have flown?
No,
would you float across multiple states just to beat a guy up over Tecmo Bowl?
I might just go down there and use the fist. I'm not gonna use a hammer.
Gets intense, dude. You get on Madden. There might be some 12-year-old telling you that he's gonna kick your ass. It's a lot. You'll be like, oh, okay. Let's find out who can kick whose ass.
I don't know if I'll be able to behave
defensive.
myself in the tournament we're gonna do. That's what I'm
You don't think you're gonna be? You're worried about it?
Worried about my behavior.
You think you're gonna? Okay.
Yes, Drew. I might go around and punch you if you beat me.
So we need to keep an eye on Bink when he's playing.
I'm concerned about my behavior.
It's never that deep. As irritated as I've gotten
in
games before,
and we all have.
It's never that deep.
You're saying it never should lead to that. I mean, could you imagine you're in this game where less and less people are playing anyway. You're two absolute stalwarts, and then you're 20 years old. And you're gonna fly across multiple states.
It was.
He flew to Jacksonville just to try to attack the guy with a hammer.
It was a medieval game.
Yeah, I think that's what Cody was saying.
He didn't take him off like a longbow or something. Or a catapult.
And actually, in trebuchet,
medieval, man.
You should have gone after him with a trebuchet.
Catapult at his house.
It does kind of feel like he should dress up in Renaissance fair clothing if he's gonna, go to this. I mean, the man went to a hardware store, bought a hammer, went to his house at 2 a.m. into his unlocked house, by the way.
What about a battle axe?
Into his bedroom and confronted him, and then eventually attacked him with the hammer. The two eventually struggled. There were several head wounds, but none were considered life-threatening, according to it. The Kang told investigators once he was arrested that the victim was a bad person online. And
enough for me to fly from multiple states.
And then the cop said it's going to be a long time before you play video games again.
Look, okay, so this is the thing. Somebody on the text line come up with the obvious, conversation that always comes from this.
It's video games?
We should ban video games. It's
the
problem.
He's playing a medieval video game. He wasn't playing GTA.
Go to the Renaissance Festival, dude.
The playing online is where you realize, this just isn't fun anymore. If you keep on getting your ass kicked, it's like, let me just go adjust the sliders. I'll play against the computer, and that's fine. I'll be able to win some.
It's worse when you're face to face with dude playing Tecmo Bowl. And they're sitting there smiling. You beat them every time. I was the Cleveland Browns. Mac was just throwing people up.
Yeah.
But when that guy is sitting right next to you talking junk,
Because he's figured out the glitch.
He's cheating. I mean, it drove me nuts.
That's why you have to start running the exact same play, Bink.
But I was a different team. We weren't playing the same team, so I couldn't cheat. I would have.
Just to throw it back in his face?
Yes.
That version of
Biggest fight ever.
Don't forget.
Do you feel good about that now, Bink?
Not really, but
it
happens. Part of your childhood. Their chapter in your life.
Please do not come.
The fight.
Yeah. Please do not come armed with a hammer, but don't forget our college football video game tournament is coming up on July 23rd. Sign up as at 2 p.m. The tournament starts at 3 p.m., but you have to qualify to win. The tournament is on July 23rd, but we'll be giving away 24 spots to 24 listeners starting next week, July 8th through 12th. Each show will be giving away seats in the tournament. You can win a gaming console of your choice, plus KSU and Missouri tickets. So a chance to watch some local schools as well. That'll all be up at Hy-Vee Arena thanks to Level Up. So don't forget next week, the college football video game tournament signups, or at least, the register to win opportunity will begin next week. When we come back, we've had the ring conversation with Brady and Mahomes, but somebody else asked a different question. I want to find out if we think it matters.
Hey, it's Vinny Pasquantino. Don't forget to follow Cody and Gold on the Odyssey app so you can listen on demand to my terrific football takes throughout the year right here on 610 Sports Radio.
Brought to you by Heartland Men's Health, the leader in men's sexual health. Thousands of men have been successfully treated for low T, ED, and more, all with discretion and compassion. Make your appointment at heartlandmenshealth.com.
Men, when addressing the problem of erectile dysfunction, you want the right treatment for your specific medical situation because every case is different, and finding the right treatment can mean the difference between just an okay experience and an amazing one. This is Jeff for Heartland Men's Health, and at our practices, we offer the full range of ED treatment protocols and can even combine therapies to help make those intimate moments special both for you and your partner. At Heartland Men's Health, we take great pride in providing excellent care and treatment options for ED. Our medical providers specialize in men's sexual health and understand that no two cases are alike, which means you'll get the right treatment for you based on sound medical evaluation and appropriate applications of medical therapies. Plus, we offer treatments that are effective in well over 90% of cases, which means if you're like most men, you'll get your sex life back. So call us. Your initial visit is just $99 and includes blood work, a medical consult, and if medically advised, a test dose. And if that test dose doesn't work in the office, your visit is free. Call 844-447-6600 or go to heartlandmenshealth.com. We have 3 offices: Overland Park, Independence, and now North Kansas City.
Hey, it's Clang. 4th of July to us means getting together with friends and family and eating. And basically, I could just hit Hy-Vee for my entire 4th of July celebration. Party trays, wings, fresh dips, chips, holiday-themed baked goods, grilling favorites like Prime Reserve steaks, chicken, ribs, and Hy-Vee's famous specialty brats. I'm telling you, go try the pineapple brat. Choose from dozens of amazing sides: potato salad, pasta salad, baked beans, slaw, firecracker corn on the cob. And again, don't forget those dips like the street corn dip to dip the chips in. Don't forget the wine and spirits department. Hy-Vee with a huge selection of wine, craft beer, seltzers, and spirits in stock and always 10% off when you mix and match 6 or more bottles. All of your paper and party goods can be found at Hy-Vee. Head by the bakery department. Get your chocolate chip cookies, your brownies, and your 4th of July themed cookies. Hy-Vee is your one-stop shop for your 4th of July celebration. Do what I do. Spend less time planning, more time hanging. Thanks to my friends from Hy-Vee.
Looking for a great job? Work at First Student. First Student is hiring school bus drivers in the Ray-Pec area. Earn up to $24 an hour and get a $2,500 signing bonus too. Great benefits and paid training. Apply now. Workatfirst.com.
When selling your biggest financial asset, you can't leave it to a beginner. You need a true expert, and that's what you get when you work with Dawn Sharp and her team. Recently, Carolyn needed to sell her home. She reached out to Dawn Sharp, and Carolyn said she handled everything for us. Carolyn and her family had already moved out of town, so communication was crucial. Dawn updated Carolyn often, and when the house was sold, it exceeded their expectations. Contact the only agent I would trust if I needed to sell my home. It's Dawn Sharp and the Sharp Homes team at homesforsalenkc.com.
There's a reason I always recommend Centric to people who are talking about going back to school or looking to change their careers. Centric gets it done in a hell of a lot less time than a traditional college and a hell of a lot less money. And they only do technology. You know, the most in-demand field. Reach out to my buddy Russ now at centric.com/alt965.
They say health is wealth, and I could not agree more. That's why if you or somebody in your life is living with everyday aches and pains,
pains, I want to tell you about Relief Factor. And I'm telling you, I can feel the difference. Relief Factor is a daily supplement that helps fight pain naturally. Naturally. Now that's a big deal. Developed by doctors. Relief Factor's unique formula of ingredients all work together to help support your body's response to inflammation. Instead of masking pain for a couple of hours, Relief Factor actually helps reduce or even eliminate your pain for good. Whether it's neck, back, joint, or muscle pain, if you're looking to feel better, live better, give Relief Factor a try. In 3 weeks, you will know if it's working because you'll feel it. For instance, I was sent Relief Factor to try, and I've been taking it every single day. I'll tell you what, I feel the difference every day. Go to ReliefFactor.com or call 1-800-4RELIEF. That's 1-800-4-RELIEF. Save on your first order. Don't let pain tell you how to live. Fight back naturally with Relief Factor. These products and statements have not been evaluated by the Food and Drug Administration. These products are not intended to diagnose, treat, cure, or prevent any disease or condition.
The light is fading, your hands are sore, and the last tool's been put away. Now's the time to feel the satisfaction that comes with a job well done. But when you get your tools from Harbor Freight, something about the job feels a little different. Your wallet. Because we believe that everyone deserves hardworking tools at hardworking prices. And that's what we have here. So, whatever you do it for less at Harbor Freight.
What's that sound? That's the sound of Downy Unstoppable scent beads going into your washing machine and giving your clothes freshness that lasts all day long. There it is again. It's like music to your ears, or more like music to your nose. That freshness is irresistible. Let's get a Downy Unstoppables bottle shake. And now a sniff solo. Nice. Get 6 times longer lasting freshness plus odor protection with Downy Unstoppables in-wash scent beads.
July 4th doorbusters are here at Lowe's, so don't miss your chance for big summer savings. Right now, save $30 on a Project Source 18-inch sink bathroom vanity. Was $129, now just $99. And save $10 on a Never Kink 50-foot hose. Was $29.98, now just $19.98. Hurry, these deals won't last long because Lowe's knows savings. Offers valid through 7/1. Selection varies by location while supplies last.
Chiefs coverage is brought to you by Dury Vision. Schedule your free consultation today. DuryVision.com.
Imagine seeing better than you ever have, maybe without contacts or glasses. That's what I do now, thanks to Dury Vision. And right now, it's a great time to call them up with their Friends and Family Savings event where you can save up to $1,000 on LASIK. DuryVision.com or 913-491-3330.
Chiefs Kingdom. This is Mitch Holtis, and welcome into the Chiefs Red Half Hour on Cody and Gold. Every day at 11:30 on your official broadcast partner, the Chiefs, 610 Sports Radio.
Cody Tabb, Jay Binkley with you. Drew Nixon. We'll talk some Chiefs here in just a minute. Binkley and I just got the exact same alert on our phone. Emergency flash flood warning is in effect for this area. Until 1:45 p.m.
I knew someone way out in Lee Summit that got one too. Serious deal. Watch flash flood. Don't drive in it.
Says this is a dangerous and life-threatening situation. Do not attempt to travel unless you are fleeing an area subject to flooding or under an evacuation order. Turn around. Don't drown when encountering flooded roads. Must flood deaths occur in vehicles.
Mm-hmm.
I didn't know that.
Can you swim?
Yeah, I can swim.
Can you swim, Drew?
Good enough, I think, yes.
Good enough?
Dog paddle or something?
No, not dog paddle. Like, I know how to swim. It's just that I'm not
a lot of confidence.
If I needed to avoid something, I feel like I wouldn't be able to go as quickly as others.
Wow.
I guess is just
it's quickly.
I can do it.
My this weekend was a big weekend in the Tapp household. Mm-hmm. Desmond went down a really big slide at the water park, which normally he's been afraid of. Not deathly, but he's been pretty afraid of water.
Did you get that one up north by the airport up there?
Yeah, the Tiffany aquatic one. So he went down the big blue slide there, and Ruby went off the high dive.
Oh,
even though we weren't even like asking her to do it. A couple of her friends, because like in her dance studio, that's who she was there with. A lot of them are like older kids. And so a couple of them were going off the high dive, and then one of her friends who were her age, who's a great swimmer, was going off the high dive. And she's like, I'm going to do it. I was like, you don't have to. No one's making you go off the high dive. And she's like, no, I'm going to do it. And she just got up there, jumped down, and like, we think she's got a lot better at swimming, but I'm like, I'll be honest, Bink. I I was near the edge because I'm like, yeah, I've seen her swim and she's pretty good, but I've never seen her like go in 15 feet of water off a high dive and swim to the top and get to the side. Like,
yeah,
I wasn't 100% sure, if I'm being honest. Not totally sure that she was like capable of swimming that well. I'm like, I don't know. So I'll just hang here. That's why lifeguards are here. And Adults is like, about to find out. No, she got all the way up, got all the way to the side, no problem. I was like, okay.
How'd the
not
wiffle
bad.
ball
Off
go
the high
for you?
dive.
The wiffle ball.
We lost. We finished second place out of 3. It was televised. I hit a home run. That was nice.
I saw that.
But I did drop an outscored pop out, which was...
You got to play solid all the way around.
That was the problem. No
miss
base
no
running
defense.
errors. A lot of base running errors on all the teams. I had no base running errors.
Saw your home run. You put it on Twitter.
Yeah,
Boom. Crushed
I was 3 for 3. I played well offensively. I didn't make any base running errors. Unfortunately, we did lose, and I had some defensive lapses.
Team Holtus?
Team Holtus finished second out of 3 teams.
Did Gordon win?
Team Gordon won.
Oh, shocker.
Dude, when they were warming up, when they were playing wiffle ball, I was like, would you recruit a bunch of like high school all-stars?
Yeah.
They all looked like they were 20, and everyone swung a bat like they had been swinging it their entire lives.
How many former Royals?
Just Gordon. I didn't see any other former Royals, but at least him, one.
That's all you need.
One former professional baseball player.
He crushed everything.
His first one was a home run. He popped one out to me like to the opposite field, like we just got way under it. But you know what it is? Major League Wiffle Ball pop-up ate me up.
Yeah.
Moving around too much, man. I couldn't stay under it. I messed up, man. I'll never get another opportunity like that again.
I love wiffle ball.
Someone says, Cody, you're a helicopter parent, aren't you? I wouldn't say that, but I am. I don't seem to be able to relax as well as the other ones. I let them do those things. But yeah, I'm a little bit worried that like the high dive might be a bit much, seeing how I've never seen my kid go off it. So yeah, I'm not.
Just don't take
I'm
them
not
to the
as-
ocean with all the sharks and riptides and everything else around.
Not as good about
You go nuts.
relaxing, I would say, was maybe that. So I guess that's a little something. We'll get to what Hollywood Brown and maybe the Chiefs are asking a little bit too much of him in just a minute. But over at Arrowhead Pride, they projected, Bink, that if you just played out the rest of the season, take his statistics, take his average year, play it out. If you took Mahomes' first 6 seasons, and then you said, let's just add up all those numbers and make it look like when it's 21, he'd bury Brady. He'd kill him in yards. He'd kill him in touchdowns. He'd kill him in touchdown to interception ratio, wins, playoff wins, all of it, right? He'd bury him. And that's not surprising because Patrick Mahomes statistically has started better than any quarterback in the NFL. Does it matter? Like, we talk about the rings all the time. We understand that if the Mahomes, Brady, the greatest of all time debate, that rings are going to be a part of that conversation. Does anyone care about the counting stats? Like does he need to play 20 years to be a part of the he's better than Brady part? Because I'll be honest, for me, I don't care. Because that goes down to the who is the more talented player when I watch them play. And to me, the answer to that is already Mahomes. I don't need, if he decides he wants to play 15 years and these are the stats he puts up, I don't care. Unless he plays bad for the final 3, he doesn't have to play 21 to prove he's better than Brady, in my opinion, unless he's just chasing rings.
Well, defense has historically been better in New England. I'll give him credit for this. He hasn't exactly won with great talent. You think about Manning, Reggie Wayne, Marvin Harrison, Brandon Stokely. He's one of 3 NFL teams ever to have 3 receivers over 1,000 yards in a season. Ton of talent. Elway had talent at wide receivers.
Yeah.
San Francisco had talent. Brady won Super Bowls with the likes of Deion Branch, Troy Brown. He didn't win it with Randy Moss.
I mean,
Randy
are you
Moss
kidding me
didn't-
that like
went
Mahomes'
undefeated with
most
him.
recent season's not going to look like that?
Well,
He won it with
that's what I'm
MVS
saying.
and Kadarius Toney.
That's what I'm saying. That's why I'm saying you have to put Mahomes in that category because he won with less talent at wide receiver. Brady got good in his 30s and even in his 40s. He became, kind of unbeatable. The ring comment is, I use it, and I think we all do. Because if we sit here and you say, well, Mahomes is better than Brady, he has less rings than him, but we use the rings when it comes to, like, Joe Burrow. If Drew was going to come in here and give me Joe Burrow, I'd say, Mahomes has 3 rings. So we do use that. So we can't just use rings when we want to. We can't if somebody throws Brady. I will tell you, as I've told you before, and I've been this many times, if D Ford not been offsides and the Chiefs take Brady 1 ring away, and if he wins the head-to-head, they're tied with 5 rings each. Drives me crazy, but it's simply 2 games to find the difference between these guys.
I don't know if you can play. I think if you want to argue Mahomes is the greatest of all time, you can't play hypotheticals.
You can't. You can't.
I don't think you can.
You can't.
But to your point, like you're right, Bink. I just think, to me, everybody's criteria is different though. So some people think that rings are a much more important thing than stats are. Some people look, stats are a lot more important because
with the quarterback, I'd look at rings. That's not exactly fair sometimes
sure.
because it's Trent Dilfer, the Tony Banks.
Well,
the
like a
Ravens,
running back
the
can't
Bengals.
control as much of his winning.
Hang on. Say Mahomes gets to 3 more Super Bowls. He wins 1, he loses 2, and both of them are like the Tampa one where he gets killed, but the offensive line is atrocious.
He just keeps going to them.
You can't factor those rings in more because he lost them and say, well, Mahomes just didn't get it done. He was running for his life. That's always my argument in the whole thing is that was not a Brady versus Mahomes as much as it was Brady against his own offensive line and against Tampa's defense.
Yeah, and
Tampa's defense deserved the MVP in that football game. You couldn't give it to one person. The whole unit deserved it more than Tom Brady did. My argument's always been Patrick Mahomes is the best quarterback I've ever seen throw a football from the standpoint that he just does. Tom Brady could never, ever do what Patrick Mahomes does from a throwing standpoint.
No, he couldn't. But do you look at things,
I think that you have to have that as a part of the argument. I think people were saying Aaron Rodgers is the best thrower of football ever, but he didn't have the rings. You have to have a certain amount of rings in my mind.
Well, he's already got some of those. He got way more than Aaron.
You had to have some rings in my mind to be in the conversation more against Tom Brady. Tom's got the rings, but in terms of throwing the football and in terms of making stuff happen, Patrick Mahomes is better than he ever was.
And Mahomes has always had flated full. Here's the other thing, too. Brady got a ring because of the tuck rule game against the Raiders, remember?
Mm-hmm. And
if that rule is a new rule in the NFL, he didn't win that ring, the Raiders win that game. So Brady got an extra ring because of that game. Of course, you can play this the other way, too, and say in the Super Bowl, if David Tyree doesn't catch that ball with the Giants, they beat him. He played the other way. But he essentially got a ring because of the tuck rule game. That was his first one, I do believe.
By the way, if Mahomes just played, because this is the easy math.
I think Mahomes is a better quarterback.
He's been 6 full years as the starter in the NFL. So if you just said he played 18 years in the league, think as a starter, he would finish with 85,272 yards. He would finish with 660 passing touchdowns. Like if he just played 18 years in the league. Like if he wants to play that long, he will bury Brady statistically. He will. And Brady played forever in the league.
I think to that point, there's a little bit, there's a partial reason why he could also ruin his greatest of all time argument by extending his career more to the point of what Travis Kelce said, look, if there comes a point where I'm average all of a sudden, I'm out. I don't want to have one average season or a season that's considered average. I want to be the best at my position every single year that I was playing, and that's how I want to end it. I think Mahomes along the same lines. You can do more damage at the end of your career than help it in some instances. Tom, I don't think, did really either. Tom won one in Tampa, which is fine, but again, had a ridiculously good defense, and it all worked out.
But he also won.
He
won 2 Super Bowls after 40. So like, part of Mahomes' problem is like he might always be, and he currently is. He's on the same pace Brady was. Like matter of fact, this is about the time Tom Brady went like 10 years without winning one. This is around the time
he's
when
on better pace technically.
Yeah, because this is the time when Tom Brady just went on a drought, and he just didn't win a Super Bowl for a long time. So if Mahomes gets one here, he'll be better than the pace, or on the same pace, or anything else in between.
It's weird because the exact same people who say LeBron James is the best player of all time in basketball say that Tom Brady is the best player in football, when that should not. Every single person that thinks LeBron James is the best player, is the GOAT in basketball, should think it's Mahomes. And because the argument for LeBron is that he is a better player in terms of everything that he does than Michael Jordan is the guy. If you have a bucket, you need to you're giving him the ball. If you need a 2-minute drive, I think a lot of people are still taking Tom Brady, right? If you have to score, Tom Brady is the guy that I would be taking. But in terms of everything that he does, Patrick Mahomes is the better overall player in terms of, I think, what he does on the football field. Yeah, physical, athletic ability, off-platform throws, escaping the pocket. Tom could never.
Yeah, but Tom might be the smartest
never play with a bad offense. Yeah, I think that, and that's a trait that I think is important. But if you look at some of the offenses that Patrick Mahomes played with, having to run around a lot, Tom Brady would never be able to do that.
And he had better defenses.
Correct. So I think that
consistently,
that's why I think the better player argument has to be above the rings, or just as important in any conversation, any sport, because you can't control everything. As important as the quarterback position is, Patrick Mahomes can only do so much.
Here's the 2 stats that I would throw out, making an argument for Mahomes being better than Brady.
Okay.
One, He went to 6 straight AFC title games to start his career.
That's
That's insane. Not only that, but if you want to pretend that the Chiefs put him in that halftime of that Titans game the year before, his true rookie year, and he wins that game and they find themselves in the AFC, he could have 7 AFC title games in a row. Honestly, because had they done that, I think they beat the Titans that day and they make the switch from Alex Smith to Mahomes. I'm never going to say it's a hypothetical what-if game. And the fact that he's got 4 games in his career where he's lost by more than a touchdown and 2-point conversion. That is insanity.
That's
you look
a
at the
really
Patriots
low
and
number
Brady.
for 7 full years.
Brady would be, lose 30-3 to the Lions and stuff. It happened. They lost to the Titans. They've lost to the Bills. They lost to the Bucs in the Super Bowl and the Broncos last year when it was by more than a score in a 2-point conversion. All the other Mahomes losses are 3 points, or the most 8 points, but it's a touchdown, 2-point conversion. To me, he's always in games. And to me, that stat, the fact that 4 games where he hasn't won and it's been more than a touchdown and 2-point conversion is the same. And if we play the what-if game, what happens if they put him in that Titans game and the Chiefs win that playoff game and he gets them in the AFC title game? That'd be 7 straight years. Who cares? He's got 6 straight anyways to start. That's crazy.
I still think, that stat, the one, because if you're going to have, I think that's what LeBron has, Drew, is that he's 40 years old and he's still playing like he's 24.
Correct.
So, if you're going to be, if you want a real argument in the greatest of all time, even if you can't match, he can't.
Sustainability.
Well, it's not even just sustainability. You got to have something that speaks to your level of greatness in a way that, LeBron does that. Jordan has the I won 6 rings 6 times in a row, right? He has that. He'll always have that. You can't take it away.
Twice, yeah.
He three-peated twice, and the other 2 years he wasn't playing. So, as far as he was concerned, the 6 years he was a starter, he won 6 straight times.
Yeah.
So, he has something. I think, even further than just he's appeared in 6 straight AFC title games. The single biggest stat right now for Mahomes that you're like, dear God, this is impossible is, 1, Patrick Mahomes is statistically just as likely to win the Super Bowl as he's not.
100%. He's been in 4. He could have been in 5.
He is statistically just as likely to win a Super Bowl than he is to not.
5. He would have been 5 in 6 years.
Which is almost not the case. But then more important than that is, Patrick Mahomes has been a full-time starter for 6 years in the NFL. The worst any season has ever ended under Patrick Mahomes was overtime in the AFC title game. Not just the AFC title game,
but overtime.
His worst season is the 5th quarter of the second to last game of the
right
year.
before halftime against the
crazy.
Bengals. They're probably in the Super Bowl. Then he could have 6 straight Super Bowl appearances, to be quite honest with you, forward. He could have 6 straight Super Bowl appearances.
Yeah,
honestly,
it's not crazy.
It's very close. It's not crazy.
He was, and that's just the variance of the sport.
Test. It's the eye test. Marino, I don't think gets the credit he deserves being a great quarterback because it's always coming back to the rings. Made the Super Bowl once, never got back there again. Marino was a great quarterback. They never had a defense, they didn't have a running game, but he was a great quarterback. But it always comes down to the rings.
Yeah. I mean,
then Bradshaw's got 4. And was Bradshaw that great?
I was about to use Terry Bradshaw as the example. Are you, in terms of what you've seen play? I never saw Terry Bradshaw play, but would you consider him a top 5 quarterback?
No.
Would you consider him top 10?
Nobody would. He's the Bill Russell of, you know what I'm saying? He's
he's
the Bill Russell of quarterback stats. Nobody really
dominant steel curtain defense.
At a time in which free agents, the other part of this is free agency didn't exist. You got
a salary cap
the eras
now.
are a little bit different.
You have a salary cap,
dude,
everything else. It's tough to do what Mahomes doing in the salary cap era.
Well, somebody texted in, did Jerry Rice hurt his career by playing too long? There have been Brett Favre, I think, hurt his career a little bit. I know he made an NFC title game, but he hurt his career by playing a little bit too long.
I hated seeing Rice with the Seahawks.
Joe Montana played maybe a little bit too long.
No one in Kansas City says that.
Man, I like that, Drew. We
got to an AFC title game.
Montana took him to the AFC title game. They hadn't stiffed one since 70.
By the way, Terry Bradshaw's a friend of the show.
And I think I'm still talking to Alex because the sissy guy hadn't said a word yet.
What? That was me.
Oh, there he is. There he is.
Bradshaw.
That was such a bold comment.
Oh, man.
Bradshaw picked on me for an entire interview on this show.
Why'd he pick on you so much?
I don't know, man. Low-hanging fruit, I guess. Hard to say. We'll talk more about the Royals coming up in about 10 minutes or so. As obviously got a massive, massive series win against the Guardians over the weekend and, of course, late last week. But we were talking earlier about the wide receivers and just kind of what to expect out of the offense. And Gold's on the other side, so I guess I thought it was good to get your opinion on this as well. Are we just asking too much of Hollywood Brown? Earlier on the text line, someone said, here are my 3 predictions for the Chiefs season. Joshua Williams is a corner 2, solid, no doubt. George Karlaftis has 13.5 sacks, and Hollywood Brown finishes with 1,200 yards.
Which, by the way, he ended up with the same amount as Bosa last year.
Yeah, he did. And then Hollywood Brown finished with 1,300 yards. And I thought, 1,300? You're asking too much of him. This is the mistake that you're making. It's not that Hollywood Brown can't be effective and can't be effective for this team. I think delusion is set in if you think he's just turning into a 1,200-yard receiver. No part of his history has ever suggested that is the level of wide receiver he is. My concern, Bink, is that they're putting so much on him because he has to play, I think, at least a portion of the season without Rashee Rice, which leaves the number 2 wide receiver option behind him as Justin Watson. That was the too much pressure we put on Rashee Rice in the early part of the year, or Tony, or Sky Moore, or anything in between. I'm worried we're putting too much on Hollywood Brown's plate from the wide receiver perspective, especially early in the season if Rashee Rice misses time.
He can do it, and we know that when Hollywood Brown was at Oklahoma, he had 1,300 yards his last year playing. His quarterback that year was Kyler Murray. Murray had a great year that year. To expect, but Hollywood Brown, I'm putting the expectations on him for several reasons. One, he's going to be, he's the best they got at this point. He just is. Rice is going to miss games. Hollywood Brown is your go-to guy. That's your big addition.
Rice is going to, I don't know how many games, but I agree.
But Hollywood Brown
seems like kind of a lock.
Got better down the field talent. And Hollywood Brown has a lot to prove. And he knows this. He's going to break the bank this offseason. He's going to break the bank for what receivers, because he's going to put up the stats. He got Andy Reid, Patrick Mahomes. He's got a 1-year prove-it deal with the Chiefs. He's going to prove it. He's going to be out of the Chiefs' price range, but he has a lot to prove. He has a lot of reason why to be good. A ton of reason why to be good for Hollywood Brown.
But his...
We're talking mega
this
contract.
Is not a player, I know, but this is not a player who's not been in the league a while.
No, he has, but he's got the prove-it year, which the prove-it year, what Trez used to say, the contract year is undefeated. And I do believe that in Hollywood Brown's case.
Look, Juju Smith-Schuster was I would say he's in a borderline identical spot as Juju Smith-Schuster was in. He was injury prone. He had a big year, but it was earlier in his career, right? A couple years before the time in his career he is now. He was a pending free agent. History would suggest at one point he was a higher level wide receiver than he is now, and that wouldn't continue. Look, Bink, in 2021, he had Lamar Jackson. And was 2021 Lamar Jackson's MVP year? When was his first MVP year? Anybody remember? I can look it up.
And a lot of that was because of the running game, because they set the NFL record for.
Well, yeah, but Lamar Jackson still won it.
He won it in 23 and 19.
19, okay, so a couple years after his MVP.
It was right after Mahomes did.
So in 2021, it wasn't his MVP year, but in 2021, Hollywood Brown had Lamar Jackson, a now 2-time MVP winning quarterback. So this is not he didn't have garbage, Bink. He had a really good quarterback. And I understand in a limited offense in the sense that they don't throw the way the Chiefs do and all of those things. But the point I've continued to make on Hollywood Brown, and I'm not saying he can't have a good year, I'm just saying they're asking too much of him. If they're asking too much of him, if he's going to turn into what you're talking about or what the text line's talking about, where he's going to have 94 catches for 1,250, you're asking too much. You're putting too much on the man's plate. I'm not saying he can't be a good player here. I'm saying that is asking him to do more than he is capable of doing. In his best year with Lamar Jackson, he finished with 1,008 yards and 6 touchdowns. He got 146 targets. Do you think that there's any chance Hollywood Brown is getting 146 targets in this offense, Bank?
It was a different offense. It was a run-dominated offense with Baltimore. He was that weapon. He's going to be a weapon in a pass-first offense. That's going to build up your numbers.
I think
in 17 games, but you're the number one weapon in a pass-first offense with the quarterback that's arguably the greatest in the game.
Tyreek only got that number of targets one time in Kansas City.
I think I'm not going to say it's more, but I think it's almost as important that Xavier Worthy works out, that Hollywood Brown has a good season. And by good, I mean, obviously that can range in a lot of different ways, but 900-plus yards I think is good. Anything less than that would be a little bit disappointing, given we probably think Rashee's out. Because Xavier Worthy can alleviate a lot of stuff that goes on in the offense when Rashee Rice is out, because instead of Hollywood being asked to do everything in a way like Rashee was last year, and I think Hollywood can, I think he's capable of doing it, but Xavier Worthy panning out is the key to how good the offense. I think he's
That's
like
the unlocking to the maximum
yes,
version.
But you've got them on opposite sides. They're going to open up the field.
He is what can completely unlock Pandora's box for the offense, and they will be able to do anything. If he's struggling or if he's hurt, then there still are a lot of limitations, particularly when or if Rashee Rice is out. I mean, if you're in week 4, and we know Rashee's out for the first 8 weeks, and Hollywood Brown's having to get targeted 12 times because nobody else can be relied on, I don't know if that necessarily bodes well for your offense in terms of the long-term sustainability of can you win another Super Bowl. I think that is asking too much for Hollywood Brown because he's good, but I don't know if he's capable of being the guy. And it worked out last year with Rashee. I think Xavier Worthy is a really important piece to the offense.
100%. We'll see what kind of last year I thought that Rice had more pressure than Sky Moore the year before. I think Worthy's got more pressure than all of them because he's a first-round pick. And
Xavier's got the most pressure out of any of the wide receivers.
I think Hollywood has the most.
Well, in terms of, I think in the next 2 years, he has to become that guy where he's at worst a number 3 wide receiver.
And he's
otherwise,
the same skill set
it's
as
a
Worthy.
Huge fail, yes.
Like Brown, that's why I kind of backed off Xavier Worthy. We had mocked him earlier on to the Chiefs, kind of backed off when they signed Hollywood Brown. But, people say, Hollywood Brown's going to be a Chiefer. Well, Beats did say this.
Hollywood situation played out the way he did and think he's going to be a great one-year addition for us, and he's going to set himself up nicely moving forward. So I think we're excited.
He says it right there, a great one-year addition.
Yeah, he knows. He knows that if Hollywood Brown puts up big numbers, he'll go get a contract that's probably